MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Fighting the fentanyl pipeline, what a top special agent with the Drug Enforcement Administration says are the challenges behind keeping narcotics out of Montana.
The people appointed are going to be the ones who are going to be favorable to the utility. So they're not going to ask them the hard questions.
Electric rate shakeup. If it passes, what a bill would mean for the Public Service Commission and those who are elected to it.
I'm Jonathan Amberian at the state capitol, where some of the major bills the Montana legislature has been looking at to offer property tax relief are now in the hands of the Senate Taxation Committee. I'll have a closer look at what could come next.
Alrighty, those stories and a lot more coming up in the next hour. Good morning and welcome to Montana This Morning on this Tuesday, April 15th. I'm Augusta McDonnell here with Miller Robson.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday.
Welcome to Tuesday and tax day. Don't want to stress you out, but it is tax day.
Well, there you go. I'm just done.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we got to pay this year.
Oh, dang it. You know, it's so, I still don't understand it. Some years you do, some years you don't.
Somebody's getting rich somewhere. That's all I know.
Sorry, Miller.
Just not me.
Shouldn't have brought that up.
Yeah, thank you.
Oops.
Hey, you know what?
I was just trying to make a, just a observation about,
Yeah.
I love it when you have strong feelings about things. You deliver, it's a very kind delivery of
It's all
anger. Good. It's like, I'm angry.
It's going to be nice today, though.
It's going to be nice today. Yeah, that's our guy.
Yeah, it's going to be our warmest day of the week.
Turning that right around.
Look at that. Beautiful start out there, courtesy of the Stop and Bake Weather Cam. Great shot there as we get up and out of this morning. Yesterday, pretty seasonal, high getting up to 57. A good bit of sunshine. Even better today with chances a lot of the area going to get into the 70s. A bit breezy yesterday. Top gust near 30. Could still see that today. Winds will be coming in on Thursday as we see this system coming through, especially around the western foothills. We could see gusts definitely of 40 miles an hour. The rest of us 20 to 30 miles an hour with the passing of that system, bringing rain and snow. Dry day yesterday, pretty on target for the month, for the year, with our moisture totals in great shape. Snow totals for the month in the whole, but we can really make up some ground with this system coming through Wednesday through Friday morning. And for the season, we're pacing ahead. Right now, waking up, not a bad start. We're sitting at 39, a bit of a chill in the air. 32 is what it feels like. Winds out of the southwest at about 12 miles an hour. Across the area, we've got temperatures anywhere from the 20s, 30s, and even some 40s. Look at that high today, getting up to 74. Some of us a good 15 to 20 degrees above the norm with our fair share of sunshine before the changes come in. We'll take a look at those changes coming up in just a bit.
All righty. Much to come on that. So taboo topics, taxes, and are we talking about baseball season yet? No,
man, you're just...
Okay,
my Braves are not doing. She is just, boy.
I'm just checking in. I'll do my research.
Braves won yesterday.
Hey, nice.
Yesterday.
Okay, we'll take it. All right, okay. Miller. Let's get to our top story. Did you see this video? This morning, parts of Southern California cleaning up after a 5.2 magnitude earthquake shook San Diego County. Now there's concerns about possible aftershocks. Derek Waller has the dramatic video showing the moment the quake hit.
The cat felt it first. Then Ashley Pinnock grabs her baby Michael and bolts outside.
We have a large beam that runs through the center of our house, and I heard a cracking noise. And so my first instinct was to get out because I didn't want to be underneath that beam.
Quick thinking from residents in San Diego County, California, after that 5.2 magnitude quake rocked neighborhoods Monday morning.
We felt the whole house start to shake, and we ran into the driveway because the house was shaking so bad we didn't know if it would be safe even in the doorway.
Security cameras captured elephants on alert at the San Diego Zoo. The quake startling dogs inside this home and even waking up this baby. The tremor also knocked bottles off the wall at this liquor store in Julian.
It was like a 2 minutes. I went to go hit the restroom and whatnot, and like instantaneously, like just the aggressive shaking, and I started hearing all like the popping of the bottles hitting the ground.
Now possible aftershocks, and seismologist Lucy Jones says there is a small chance of an even bigger quake to follow.
19 out of 20 times what you're seeing is the biggest one. 1 out of 20 times it's followed by something bigger.
Today we had the most damage that we've ever had, but none of the staff was hurt, and they handled it quite well.
Neighbors left with damage to clean up, but thankfully it wasn't worse. Derek Waller, CBS News.
And Montana, of course, has seen firsthand the devastation that drugs like fentanyl can cause: addiction, overdoses, and crime. Stopping those drugs from coming into our country and our state is not an easy task. Our Russ Riesinger had a chance to sit down with the special agent in charge of the DEA's Rocky Mountain Field Office this week for an update on how that effort is going and whether steps taken by the Trump administration are making a difference.
Really, if you can imagine it, that they've developed a way to sneak it across.
It's a constant battle for those on the front lines of the war on drugs. Jonathan Pullen is the special agent in charge for the DEA's Rocky Mountain Field Office.
We really expected to see a drop already in the supply coming into the United States because the border is so much tighter. However, that hasn't transpired yet.
Pullen says Mexican cartels are 100% to blame for the fentanyl that is finding its way to Montana, often with deadly consequences.
A pill of fentanyl is produced in Mexico for 2 to 4 cents. Okay, that same pill in Denver might sell between $2 and $5 per pill. Okay, incredible markup when it's only cost 2 cents to make it. By the time that pill makes it to the Blackfeet Indian Reservation, it can be sold for as high as $120 for one pill. So an incredible markup, incredible amount of money to be made by these criminal groups that are selling this poison. Half of the pills that DEA seized last year across the entire United States had a deadly dose of fentanyl in it.
While the problem isn't going away, Pullen believes some of the steps that the Trump administration has taken are already making a difference, including designating cartels as foreign terrorist organizations and invoking the Alien Enemies Act.
The ability to invoke that Title 50 rule has been really a game changer because now some of these people who are they're really only up here committing crimes, we can send them home.
While Pullen is hopeful that will help law enforcement, he also knows all too well the cartels won't back down easily.
But what I can tell you is that the Mexican cartels are relentless. They're not going to stop.
In Billings, Russ Riesinger, MTN News.
Russ, thanks so much. And with graduation just around the corner, students at Custer County District High School in Miles City heard from U.S. Senator Tim Sheehy on Monday. The assembly was met with protests. Sheehy spoke about military service and college opportunities through the nation's service academies. The visit was part of a statewide school tour organized with the Montana Office of Public Instruction. Outside the event, protesters supported by the group Indivisible gathered to address concerns, including federal budget cuts by DOJ. Those groups told MTN News they hoped for FaceTime with Sheehy.
I'm doing this, traveling around the state, trying to make sure as many students around the state understand that this is an option for them.
He should be talking to us. We don't bite. I understand he's a former Navy SEAL, and you have to be kind of a tough guy to be a Navy SEAL. And we don't know why he's afraid to meet with us.
Sheehy also shared personal anecdotes from his military service, including his time stationed overseas. Sheehy declined an interview with MTN and left the event without addressing protesters directly. And let's head to Helena now. We've got a lot going on as the legislature winds down. The body is debating a bill that would not only affect the makeup of the Public Service Commission, but potentially increase electricity rates. Currently, the citizens elect the 5 commissioners, but a new Senate bill could change that with 2 elected commissioners and 3 appointed by the governor. However, some do worry it would give the governor too much power and ultimately end up costing Montanans more. Our David J. explains.
The bill has already passed in the Senate and a House hearing is scheduled for Tuesday. Those that favor the bill say it will bring expertise to the commission that oversees energy, while those opposed say the public will no longer be represented.
Do the people have a right to vote for their representative, or shall it be appointed?
That, says Public Service Commissioner Brad Molnar, a Republican, is at the crux of the debate regarding the future of Montana's Public Service Commission. A proposal to limit how many of the state's 5 public service commissioners are elected, instead allowing 3 to be appointed by the governor.
3 appointed, 2 elected, so that the governor would always have the majority vote.
You need to have commissioners who are independent.
Republican Tony O'Donnell recently finished 8 years as a public service commissioner. The PSC regulates rates for electrical, natural gas, water, and wastewater companies. He's among the many sounding the alarm about a PSC commission partially appointed by the governor.
The state has given, like Northwestern and MDU, they've given them monopoly status. But in return, they agree to be regulated. So you have to have regulation that means something.
Molnar from Laurel is also concerned, saying California and Texas are both examples of why commissioners should not be appointed, highlighting the 2018 Paradise Fire in California and a failure of the Texas power grid in 2021 that ultimately led to several deaths.
Their utility regulators have done nothing to stand in the way of the utilities.
But others like Governor Greg Gianforte see the issue much differently.
I'm not going to weigh in on the particular bill, but I think there are some benefits that might come from changing up the structure a little bit.
Neither the governor nor Republican State Senator Daniel Zolnikoff, the sponsor of the bill, were available for this story. Instead, Gianforte's communications person directed us to a news conference last week where he was asked about appointed commissioners.
What's really important as energy demand increases is a regulatory climate that gives predictability to both consumers and producers.
This will affect everybody that opens a utility bill, every business that wants to come in the state, and nobody's paying attention.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
David, thanks so much. And the Montana legislature has passed a bill that prevents public schools and state officials from acting against staff or students who do not use an individual's preferred name or pronouns. The measure, which is sponsored by Republican Representative Braxton Mitchell of Columbia Falls, now headed to the governor's desk. The bill blocks individuals from facing disciplinary action for refusing to use a person's preferred pronouns or name, and it gives people a route to file suit if they do face any punishment. Opponents of the bill say it would give, quote, a license to bully trans kids, while supporters say it defends individuals' religious freedoms. And Montana lawmakers have also passed legislation preventing local governments from enacting red flag laws, which remove firearms from people who are considered a danger to themselves or others. The House bill from Republican Representative Braxton Mitchell once again passed third reading in the Senate Monday. It's now headed to the governor's desk. Red flag laws or extreme risk protection orders are intended as a way for law enforcement to temporarily remove firearms from a person if a judge decides there's a high risk of harm. Montana does not currently have any red flag laws. Opponents of the bill said they can help prevent suicides and violence in domestic situations, while supporters argue they're a violation of Second Amendment rights. And we've got just 3 weeks there at the legislature, and lawmakers still have to sort through a lot of proposals for property tax relief. Now they're talking about how to get all of their ideas aligned together for a final tax plan. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian has a closer look at some of the bills still under consideration.
For some of the big pieces remaining in the legislature's property tax puzzle, the next big step will be going through the Senate Taxation Committee. On Monday, the committee held a hearing on 5 bills, including HB 528, which would significantly lower tax rates on residential, commercial, and agricultural property. Opponents included utilities and energy companies, who said it would shift the tax burden to them. But Representative Ed Byrne, who sponsored the bill, said the state could use other revenue to make up the difference.
Once I leave here, the bill is yours. You can amend it any way you want. Once again, it's what can we afford as a legislature to backfill? This does not need to go out to the other classes in that significant amount that everybody's been talking about.
They also heard HB 483, which would fix the state's 95 mills share of property taxes for education and direct any excess revenue from those mills to pay down local property taxes. Representative Courtney Sprunger, who sponsored that bill, said it could be adjusted to fit with whatever final tax proposals the legislature brings forward.
The reality is we're looking at many different property tax solutions. All of you know that. So the reality is this bill has to be able to be responsive.
Beyond what they heard Monday, the Senate Taxation Committee is also holding HB 231, Governor Greg Gianforte's preferred homestead property tax bill. They had initially voted to table it, but revived it last week. The committee also heard testimony Monday on bills like a child tax credit and exempting more Social Security payments from income tax. Each comes with a price tag, and those testifying noted lawmakers might soon be making decisions about which ones the state can afford.
Again, you are the tax policy committee. I hate to see when the policy committee sends all the decisions down to finance and claims to be made.
Senator Greg Hertz, who chairs the taxation committee, told me they could begin voting on some of the key tax bills as soon as Tuesday if proposed amendments get completed in time. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.